My name is Valerieann Giovanni, and I'm an oil painting artist, and I'm traveling to Italy to paint, and I have some very specific things that I'm planning to do, and I'm going to be periscoping my journey. And so I'm just going to share with you a little bit of how I've learned to trust myself and where it's taken me with my art. So over the years growing up, I just started, I'll give you kind of an overview here of some of the types of paintings that I painted over the years. Very realistic animals and landscapes, things like that, okay, horses, wildlife. Let me see if I can pull up some more things here. So I learned how, by just doing it, how to paint some things that were very realistic, okay? The Temple of Isis. But then, well, I'm starting to get, okay, there's King Tut, showing you a little bit of some of the things I've done. Okay, I'm going to show you another one. Okay, here is a painting of some of the red bluffs around where I live. And this is just an art print. So I've done a lot of painting over the years. However, at a certain point, I knew I could paint anything to look like what it was. But it was like there was more to it. There was more to it that needed to be explored. And that's the part that I want to talk to you about today. I'll flip it back here if it will. There we go. Okay. So, hi there. Welcome. So I learned how to paint realistically by doing it. But at a certain point, it's like there was something missing in my paintings. And it wasn't until I had a teacher that came from Germany to a little town in Idaho, and she taught how, she was like, the question was, what does joy look like? You know, what color is it? What shape is joy? I had never thought about that. I'd always been looking at realistic things, you know, the surroundings around me, or animals, or, you know, what was real, and trying to duplicate that. And so that was the first time I had the idea to go inside and consider what I felt when I was doing my art. And so I began to contemplate the idea of that. What would something look like if I was just painting how I felt about it? Or if I was just feeling a feeling and I tapped into that feeling and started to paint. So one day I gave myself permission to start to play with my oil paints just like a little kid, like I hadn't done for a long time, like I did with crayons. And so I got a canvas out and my paints, and I had nothing in mind first. I had no idea what I was going to paint. And so I just played. And so I dipped my brush in the paint, just the color that I wanted to, and I just started putting the paint on the canvas and feeling the paint on the canvas as it went on, the buttery feeling of it. And I wasn't trying to make anything. And then I added another color and I started to blend. And it was a feeling inside that I got. And I wasn't trying to make it be anything. I kept painting and playing, and it's like I became more and more alive and more energized and happier. And I started to have this feeling inside that was incredible. Like I was so filled with this feeling of love and passion that I had never felt. And I kept painting. And as I did, it's like this expanded, and I was just like, it was like the most incredible experience. And when I finished covering the canvas with paint, I stood back and I was actually stunned by what I saw, because I had painted something, but it wasn't a typical painting, and I'll show you what it is. I have it here for you. I actually have the painting. Let me see if I can tip this around. So this is the painting that I painted. And I would say this is a painting of, it's me loving myself. And you can see, let's see if I can get it in there a little better, the detail that showed up. But it's like, it's alive, it's moving. It's a way different painting than, like, let me show you this one again. You know, very different. See, this has detail, but it's copying the outer world. This is a painting of my inner world. Very, very different. But the only way I was able to tap into that was to let go of the structure, to let go of any idea. I had to trust my inner knowing. I had to trust myself. And because I've done that, it's opened up a completely new way of painting. And it's also given me the confidence to trust myself in other areas of my life. So you have an inner knowing and an inner guidance, an inner part of you that knows your answers, that knows what you need. And if you follow that, it will take you into new territory, things that you've never experienced before. And so as I travel into Italy and I go to connect with the surroundings, the plants, the older buildings, I'm going to tap into the feeling of it. Like, what does it feel like to be in Italy? What does it feel like to be on that part of the continent, of the world? What does it feel like? And when I'm feeling that, what does that look like when I translate that feeling or that energy into paint on canvas? I don't know yet, but I know that I can trust that it will show up. Just like you can trust whatever your heart's telling you. Just start something. Give yourself permission to take the first step. That's the key. Take the first step and the next step will follow. It always does. Trust that you know what you need, that you can guide yourself. You have the key to your greatness. Trust the steps. Follow yourself. Follow your heart. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, reach for the stars, and live from your heart. You can do this. Trust yourself.